If it hurts, you ain't afraid, no get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tackle, this win it. First you again, here for the first man. Carry block, you never 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
The culture that Hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standards to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
A game like this, you kind of do as you're playing for another game, you know. But that's what this work gonna go into next season. So we make sure we playing at this time next year. You know, that's the goal. You know, to be playing at this time next year and going forward to another game. But you know, as soon as we finish this game, I told everybody it's just time to go to work. Everybody ready to go to work. Like it's time to drop off the grid and just show up in 2024 ready to dominate.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS and my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it. I can feel it, I can feel it coming in the air now. Oh, we fell in love. You remember the time? How could I ever forget? You remember the time? Oh, we fell in love. You remember the time? How could I ever forget? Coming in the air now.
Good Sunday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley, hanging out with Coach Jay, Coach Rice, talking a little Vol football tonight. Can anybody tell me what movie this quote is from? Tonight is your night, bro. It's your night, bro. It's your night, bro.
I'm lost.
Somebody in the chat. Tonight, it's a song, but I can't sing. Is your night, bro. It's your night, bro. It's Danny DeVito. Now do you know what it is? Twins. It's when he's telling Arnold that it's his night. It's his night. To have some, Arkansas ball knows what I'm talking about.
Well, question, Boogie. What year did that movie come out?
It had, oh God, now Coach Rice is going to make us
feel old. We're old, Boogie.
I bet it was, hold on, I gotta Google it. I bet it was like late 80s. Hold on, let me Google it. Twins movie, 1988. How old were you, Coach Rice? Were you alive?
I was not alive yet.
Oh my gosh, we're so old, Coach Jay.
We're old.
What year were you born in?
Old.
92.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm only 32.
I love it. Youngin.
Oh
In a
my
good
gosh.
Me and X were born the same year.
There you go.
That
Me
just
and X,
doesn't seem like that's possible. It doesn't seem like
I'm
it's
an old
possible.
soul, man.
I think you are. I think you are. Because you come in here and talk, and I know what you're talking about. X comes in here and talks. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like his social media platforms and the TikToks and the I don't ever know what X is talking about. Look, tonight is your night. It belongs to the chat. This is your show. We're going to put out the link here in just a little bit. You guys get to come on, hang out. You get to drive the show tonight. Where else do you get to do that? Nowhere. Nobody else. Can you imagine Brent Hubbs of VolQuest.com? You can get you can't get this shirt. This is just for the members of the team. Somehow I got a VolQuest shirt. I don't know how that happened. But can you imagine Brent Hubbs just saying, here's the link, y'all come on. Just imagine that happened.
Hubbs would not know what to do. I mean, he would be frazzled.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Shout out to VolQuest. Love those guys. Shout out to Kanan for sending me this shirt. It's funny that people, all that guy does is rip off VolQuest. Well, that's weird because VolQuest guys call me on the phone. They text me all the time. They send me their merchandise. Yeah, I bet they hate me. I bet the guys at VolQuest.com hate every time that I promote what they do. They're the best in the business. Shout out to Kaner. Anyway, let's I'm not even going to catch up with the chat because they all snuck in. All 216 of them snuck in. I have no work to do. I'm useless. If I can't read super chats, I might as well shut the show down because I don't know what else to do. But I think Coach Rice, has something that he probably wants to talk about. Oh. And I thought so much so that I should throw it to Coach Jay first. But we'll get Coach Rice. What were your thoughts on Tennessee opening 6-9-3 domination?
Man, it was amazing. I even tweeted Coach Jay. I was like, dude, I love you, man. I said, Nico is him, man. I said, this is unreal. That we got a quarterback that is elite. And I know, Boogie, I don't want to kill the league because, I mean, you're going to get into all that within the week.
Oh, you can tease it, though. You can tease it.
All the national media guys, like, they're falling in love with this kid's talent. I mean, he is unreal, throwing darts all over the field in stride. The quarterback that Coach Heupel has dreamed about. I mean, dreamed about in his – fantasies of this offense. Like, he knows what all Nico can do. And the crazy thing is he's just a redshirt freshman and he's only going to keep getting better. And with that talent that he's got in this room, guys, we only saw a glimpse of how great this offense can be. I get it was Chattanooga. I get they were playing 8 yards off the ball, 10 yards off the ball. But you have to make those throws. You have to make those throws against anybody, leading them in stride, leading the wide receivers in stride, identifying the coverages, knowing where he's got his matchups and where he doesn't have his matchups, identifying the numbers, and just the freakish ability to know the pocket awareness. And it's crazy to think that he's just a redshirt freshman because we saw him do stuff yesterday that we saw a sixth-year senior couldn't do last year. And, I mean, it's just I'm Vol fans, you better just take it in while you can because everything you saw yesterday, all the national big guys, number one pick, future number one pick. So it was awesome to watch.
The Chattanooga thing, and I've really not seen much of it. I've not seen too many people going, well, it was just Chattanooga. Because like this right here, Nelson tweeted this out, and I saw Coach Jay, you can see him right there at the top, seeing that boy throw 7 tutties in 8 minutes in a high school once. Look at this. Look at this. There's 4 minutes to go. There are 4 minutes to go in the first half. He's some of us
19
are getting old.
19 for 22, 282 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's Hubs said this in their post-game mini pod. Those are routes on air numbers.
Yeah.
So Chattanooga, you could just take Chattanooga off the field, and those are routes on air numbers, Coach Jay. Like, I don't care who the opponent is. Again, I said this last night. I said it this morning in the day after video. I'm going to say it all week long. It is what it is. The bottom line is Peyton Manning played teams like Chattanooga, Andy Kelly, Heath Schuler, Josh Dobbs, Casey Clausen, Condridge Holloway. You want to run down the list of greats? Somebody on this panel of 3 people said that Nico was going to go down in history as the greatest Tennessee quarterback of all time. All those guys played against Chattanoogas. None of them have ever thrown for that many yards that Nico threw for in one half, ever, Coach Jay, ever.
I mean, I remember when you asked me that question, and man, I paused because I was a huge Peyton Manning guy. I love that dude. Like, I absolutely love that dude and what Hendon did. And there's so many Vol quarterbacks, man. I grew up loving Heath Schuler, right? Like, that dude was the dude when I was a little kid. And when you asked me, I took a long pause, and it was felt almost sacrilegious to say before the season started, but I trust my eyes. I feel like you need to trust your eyes when you're a coach, and I know what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of really high talent football players. I've been up close, as mentioned, with a Heisman Trophy winner, a national championship winner, and I know what it looks like, and that kid looked better. So I just trusted that and leaned back on that, and man, he's special. And I'm just so excited that the Vol faithful are starting to see what I've seen. What up, family? What up, David Sanders? Good to see you in the chat, man. Absolutely awesome to have you in here. Can't wait to see you up on Rocky Top, man. We're counting the minutes, but no, man, I'm happy as can be. What a nice ending to a beautiful week. And I do have to give one other quick shout out really quick. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Coach Miss J. I hope you have a great day today. I'll be taking you out somewhere fancy when we get out of here. And thank you for letting me do everything that I want to in football and chase my dreams. And you're always right there behind me. And I just consider myself lucky every day to be part of your life. And I love you.
I'm dragging you through the mud, bro. I've made you work on your birthday. You work on your anniversary. You're becoming Boogie 2.0. There's no days off. I texted Kaner right before we went live. I was like, just confirming 9 a.m. He's like, yep. I'm like, yep. We don't get holidays and vacations around here, brother. He's like, I'll be there. Oh man, happy birthday to Mrs. Coach J. Behind every successful man is a freaking rock of a woman, a supportive woman, like everything. Whether you're chasing your dreams coaching football, whether you've got this wild, crazy idea that I'm going to pursue YouTube as a full-time career when you're not making anything doing it, and then you just chase that dream and you make the sacrifices, and she's sitting back there saying, go get them, go get them, go do what you got to do, and then you reap the rewards of that, right? So happy birthday to Mrs. Coach J. I love that she supports you chasing your dreams. Now the chat, I had to insult them. Now they're stepping up. So we'll catch up with the chat now. Ron the Don drops a $5 super chat, says, Dorothy, let's go big orange boogie. I came in the room yesterday pregame and blacked out. I woke up hearing Rocky Top Balls by 60. Ron the Don doesn't even remember what happened. I'm glad the tailgate show is still there. Ron, you passed out on air, and then a different person showed up. I'm glad Ron is okay. Glad he's okay. Peyton K for 10 says, go big orange. We appreciate the super chat. Elijah, the kid Allen is here, says, Coach Jay, I'm sorry if I ever doubt you. Colt of 8.
No, it's no problem, Elijah. Actually, I've got to thank Elijah and Coach Rice. My son was undefeated against users and finally got 2 losses handed to him. And I like it when you can humble that little SOB. So thank you, Elijah, and thank you, Coach Rice. And
I didn't know Elijah beat him too. I knew old Cheeser down there was going to beat him, Mister. I never kick. I knew that was coming.
He had texted me for a scouting report, and I called him to give it to him, and I was like, he's like, it's too late. And I was like, oh no. I was like, well, would have anything I said helped? And he was like, I think so, actually. I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep it in my back pocket over here.
See, that's what you guys don't get the taste of. Everybody scouts me every Tuesday night for 5 to 6 hours at a time. I have no prayer in some of these user games. Captain Woodland drops a $5 super chat. We appreciate it, brother. Is anyone else enjoying the Florida fan meltdown as much as me? It's simply the best. We are going to bury them 1,998 feet below the Power T, GBO. Yeah, I tweeted out last night. I was like, there's no way Billy Napier's their coach next year. There is no way on God's green earth. Jeff for 5 says, Dorothy, and some orange emojis. We appreciate you, brother. Jeff's always supporting the brand. Robert Tuck for 5. I know we have Faison Brandon committed, but can you believe the quarterback talent we're going to sign after this season after Nico goes off? I'm interested to see not just quarterbacks, man. I think quarterbacks know they can come here and get developed, but what other type of player? What elite running back sees Dylan Sampson and goes, oh, that's what's going to be available to me because they've got a quarterback that can throw it all over the yard. I'm going to be able to come in and run against a light box. I think we're going to see a huge wave of momentum in recruiting. A little spooky for 2. Love the hustle from Laycock. Guy's a worker. I love that play, man. Love that play. Coach McGee for 5. Dorothy can't call in tonight. Sorry, boys. That's all right. We appreciate the super chat. Hope we can catch you either on a tailgate show or next Sunday night. Matt Mars for 5. Be happy y'all are supported, unlike dude getting divorced yesterday on a UT podcast.
Saw that crap.
What was that?
Dang.
What?
He called in and his wife said, I'm sick of you. I'm done with you. And just,
oh, man.
We're done.
Wait,
while he was on the air.
So it was a dude running a Tennessee podcast?
No, I think it was just a radio show, and dude, they were on air. I don't know if it was a call in, and the wife.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh man. Uh-oh. Miss J.
Noah James for 5 says, Coach, I'm a believer. Watching Nico live was incredible. I can't wait till this freaking cocky SOB over here misses on something. And everybody's like, oh, Mr. Know-it-all. He's pretty much undefeated right now. I'll shoot straight. Chris for 10, nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Chris. David Franklin drops a 20 spot. That's an orange boy. Let me roll out the clip for the top donation of the night. We appreciate you, David.
Rocky Top!
David says, felt bad for the male cheerleaders trying to keep up with the push-ups. They couldn't do it. Let's hear
have
it.
a tough year.
Dude, that one dude struggled, and it was like they had just got going. It's like, bro, that's just like 24 points, and he's like, I'm out. I'm tabbing out. Thank you, David. Appreciate the super chat. Coach Jay, you I know rewatched the game today. I started a rewatch. I may have taken a nap, but on your rewatch, what takeaways did you have?
Gosh, not to kick it away straight away, but Coach Rice knows I'm gonna get his opinion on this because this is what jumped out, and then I can go back to talking about it. But I sent Coach Rice a picture of it. I may have even sent you a picture of it, Boogie, earlier. But the Vols went completely empty. So they went 5x5 quads ace, guys. So that's 4 wide receivers on one side of the field, 1 wide receiver on the other side of the field, quads by ace. We haven't seen this under Josh Heupel yet. Not under Hendon, not under anyone have we seen it. We got it once straight up, and then once motioning Cam Selden out of the backfield into it. And it was kind of pedestrian. Both of them were like 9-yard gains, so it was hard to defend. But you can just tell they're getting ready to run different variations on it, that they're getting ready to get nasty of it. But Coach Rice, maybe you can speak to that playbook opening up. What do you think of seeing that?
Well, I mean, and then you saw other formations that I'll get into as well. But that 4x1, where you got 4 to the wide side and 1 to the boundary side, it just opens up the formation to where the whole field pre-snap you have to worry about covering. And it goes a lot into the spacing of what we talked about, even with our 2x2 stack, where you have 2 wide receivers stacked on the white, like outside the numbers, and it forces the defense to cover the whole field pre-snap, where they're worried about all types of spacing. Well, what that does in any type of empty set makes the read quick and easy for the quarterback, because the defense has to have a telltale sign of what they're in, what they're going to give in these wide spacing formations. And when you have 4 to the wide side of the field, and then you put, in most cases, you put your best wide receiver on the solo side, it just opens up mismatches all over the field. So you could do tons of things. You could run QB runs off of it. You could run any type of high-low combinations on the wide side. And then you could run just any type of Coach McGee's biggest hate, any type of timing route where the wide receiver is going to say, hey, he's playing press man. Why? I'm running go right here because I'm one-on-one with this dude, and this dude ain't stopping. Because when you have 4 guys to that wide side of the field, he's not getting any help. Like, it's one-on-one. There's not many coverages you could show there that where you could disguise stuff because they're so worried about the boundary where you're just getting mismatched all over the place. And there's a lot you can go into that. You can motion out of it, like you said. You can do a push screen where you're pushing the running back out from the backfield to that trip side, or you could run the tight end from the 3x2 to the wide side. I mean, there's a lot, and it's just more and more that I think Coach Heupel and this offense we're going to see develop and evolve throughout this year.
One of the things I loved, and I don't remember if I sent this back to you, Coach Jay, or not. I started to, and then I don't remember if I ever sent it. Was you mentioned Cam Seldon when you talked about it, and I don't think I've even mentioned this in the post game show, but the versatility that Cam Seldon gives you, like that's been the big conversation, the big talking point of why doesn't this coaching staff rotate wide receivers? Well, because if they stop, you got to be able to trust this guy for a full series. And if you don't trust a guy for a full series, you can't put him in for one play because you're going quick, right? So when you got Cam Seldon, you got all kinds of versatility out there, or even like an athletic guy like Ethan Davis. So if you're out there with 3 wide receivers
and Brew, think about it, Brew, because Brew can act as another tight end for you. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, if you want, you can even go double tight. Really, with Brew, I wouldn't be afraid to. If I were them. Brew's an animal. I don't know if anyone saw that picture of Brew. Man, he looking swole. That dude.
Maybe put a fullback on the field too with that double tight formation.
Oh, now Tom, don't get Coach Shea too excited about some old school power football. But the other thing I noticed in this offense that jumped up, and I was happy to see it reported on VolQuest this morning, was the plus 20-yard plays are back. That's the main thing that jumped out at me. We had 8 of them in this game. You take that times 12, that's on pace for 96 of them. That's pretty much a double what we did last year, guys, and 10 more than we had in 22. That leaps off the page. I thought Jermod McCoy on the rewatch was great, and I didn't first think so. I think everyone saw Aaron Carter overrun that one stretch play to the bottom side, but he also fixed it 2 plays later. They ran that same stretch play, and he filled it and closed it down. So I was happy to see him fixing a mistake. Whenever I see a young player fix a mistake very quickly out of it happening and not getting beaten up over and over again. I mean, it took you watching the Georgia Tech Florida State game once to get frustrated with linebackers not figuring out how to fix their mistake on a stretch play or on a counter, right? So that's something I noticed as well. But also Satterwhite getting a bunch of snaps at center. I thought he looked pretty good, guys. I thought he looked pretty good. What do you think, Tom? What do you think about the O-line in general? Wanted to get your opinion on that.
We got a lot of problems. We got a lot of problems, fellas. We got high up pad levels. We got butts in the air. We got hands outside. We got fists full of jersey. I don't know what they're teaching these.
They don't call holding anymore, Tom. You know that.
Hey, well, they're going to call it against Georgia. They're going to call it against Georgia. We're going to get a 30-yard gain in a spot where we really need it on the first drive, and we're going to put our foot on their throat, and then they're going to call it back. But no, your focal point has to be right here.
Is he really bringing the negativity? Am I going to have to yell at Tom right here in front of everybody? I'm going to yell at Tom like I've been yelling at people in the comment section. Tom, it was 69-3. It's 69-3. The first thing out of his mouth is negativity.
Expect a little sloppy.
I got to yell at Tom. I got to yell at Tom right now. Is this really happening?
I was really happy with how yesterday went. Let me put a smile on.
But you didn't like the sloppy O-line play.
I'm telling you, I counted on the first 2 drives. I counted 1 holding penalty on each play that could have easily been called.
That's me every day as a defensive guy.
Have you ever watched college football, Tom? It's every play for every team. Oh, I gotta
It's a
I
lot
gotta
of
yell at you,
plays.
Tom. You gotta bring some positive energy right now.
I love
All right,
it.
well, let me bring some.
Yeah, what'd you think of Nico?
Let me look at my board here.
What'd you
Nico.
Hold on. I'm moving Bleed Orange to the top because he looks better in his VWO shirt than you do. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Nico had a beautiful throw on the third possession to Chris Brazel, and then he had a perfect throw to Dante Thornton right after it for a touchdown on an easy
There you
post
go.
route. I mean, that was just bing, bang, 2 plays, 40, 50 yards worth of execution in 2 plays. It was beautiful.
Sir.
And the offensive line had their butts down, and the protection was beautiful. That was the only 2 plays that I couldn't count anything that we did wrong. I'll pass it off to somebody.
I love it.
See,
I love
D's got your back because
it.
I had to yell at D. I had to yell at D today in the comments. He coming in talking about how bad the defensive line played. I had to yell at him. I don't know what some people want.
Defense killed them.
They scored 3 points. 3 points. They averaged 2 yards per carry. What do you all want? We want to go
2.5 yards a carry.
Y'all want a 24-14 win over Chattanooga? I can't. I've lost my mind. I love you, Tom. I have to bust your balls a little bit.
I know. No, it's all good, man. That offensive line, they're going to be killing it. They really will. If they just get their butts down, they'll be killing it. But we're going to be killing it, guys. I sent a message to all 3 of y'all. I said the offense looks like the offense again. It actually looks like what he looked like when he was at UCF, and then when he came here the first 2 seasons. And I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's going to be beautiful.
I feel like we need to reset. I feel like we need to bring some positive energy to the room. People are coming on. I'm yelling at people. I yelled at D today. Now I'm yelling at Tom. I usually lose a lot of subscribers during the season because I yell at people when they say things that I don't like. But Mrs. J pointed this out. I love the YouTube short of Boo Carter in the locker room getting pumped up and Coach Hype sees him.
Yes.
Have you all seen this?
Yeah.
This is absolutely hilarious. Boo Carter, I've got it muted because he's got copyright music. But he's live on Instagram. He's dancing. Look at Coach Hype in the background. See him right here?
My way or the highway.
Watch him. He's like, what is going on over here? Like what? Like look at this look, right? He's like, Boo Carter, you're a freshman. What are you doing? Now let's look back here. All the boys, they're leaving. They're leaving the locker room. I don't know if they're going to meetings. I don't know if they're going to I don't know what's going on. Look at Hype. He is staring my man down. Stop dancing on Instagram Live. He says, Boo. Look, Boo doesn't see it. Boo keeps dancing. He says it again. Boo. He's like,
we having fun? Zero fun, sir.
Is that what he said?
I think he said my way or the highway or something like that.
That's hilarious. That video was so funny. All right, let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Chris for 2 says, I'll be at the game when UT decimates the Gators. Brent, my favorite, Burnett. Notice who's here. Brad's not here. Vols by 50 against NC State. We appreciate you, Brent. Robert Tuck for 5. Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Overload on the left, burn them 1-on-1 the other. A la Varsity Blues. We call that the oop-de-oop, Robert. We call that the oop-de-oop. James Lofton is in the house. What is up, Mr. Lofton? Drops a $5 super chat. Super win. We are locked in this year. Will be a legendary win. Shout out to James. Appreciate the super chat. Jaden's going to be in the house on Tuesday. Last time I called out a Tennessee commit on a video game, I got embarrassed in front of all of my friends and my enemies and my haters. I'm afraid Jaden's probably going to embarrass me too, but he's going to be here Tuesday night. We're going to have some fun. Looking forward to it. Tony Canada for 2. Ban. Rocky Top Tom. I've turned him on you, Tom. I'm sorry.
Bring it. I'm telling you, I want to be that realist. I don't want to be the negative guy. I don't want to be the overly sunshine pumping positive guy.
This is why
be the one that sees it.
This is why it bothers me. Because when you put out a video and it's the day after and you're talking about the game, we won 69-3. 69-3. They averaged 2 yards per carry. For me, the first 15 things out of my mouth are going to be positive. And so when people come in like, defensive line sucked, so much for our great defensive line, I'm like, that was your takeaway. That was your takeaway from the entire game. They played dominant. 2 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
And I get it. People want to go look at the stat line and they want to say, well, we didn't get it. We only got 1 sack. Yeah, because they were utilizing chop blocks. Even one of the national guys was talking about it, that, they used a lot of chop blocks. You're not going to see that a lot in the SEC. So that prevented it. I was talking to Coach Jay earlier and I was like, I wish that I was dedicated and I would sit here and count how many deep drops the quarterback actually took versus like a 3-step drop. He didn't take many. Heupel even talked about it after the game too and said, they started taking a few more deeper drops late in the game and we were able to get to him and hit him. That was our game plan. You don't think they know Tennessee has a dominant defensive line? All right, I got to shut up because I'm just yelling at people and everybody's going to hate me. Papaw J, what'd you think of the game and why was it great and perfect and everything is sunshine and rainbows?
Well, there's 3 things that I liked. I liked Weary. I think he's going to be a good receiver. I mean, the kid's got hands like crazy. He only played the last quarter. Khalifa Keith, dude's going to be a bruiser.
Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah. Well, all right, not this year, but
Nelson said he was. I don't know.
Yeah. And then Beasley can't cover the top of a Tupperware bowl. I mean, he had a rough time. They picked on him 3 or 4 times in the second half.
They did, but what is he a freshman or is he a redshirt freshman?
He's a freshman. And he missed everything except the last 2 weeks of summer.
Yeah.
So you got to give him a little time. Yeah. But I hear you.
He did get picked on.
Oh, no doubt about it. No.
What about you, Sports Banner? What were your takeaways coming out of the game?
My main thing is what I expected right away. I knew first time I seen Nico in just warm-ups, even in high school. I don't care if it wasn't college. I don't care if he's just a freshman. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do when he got back there. When he got back in the pocket, the decisions were fast, and he got rid of the ball fast, and they were accurate passes. And even better than that, I don't know if you could run that offense any faster than he was running it. I mean, as soon as he can't even communicate with the coach because I don't believe the rule. The rule says it's at a certain point the coach can start communicating. He's already getting the ball before that time comes. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me. But I believe they mentioned a rule like at a certain amount of seconds. But yeah, he was already getting the ball before any of that was possible. So he's doing it. He's running the show, and he's getting the ball to his guys. I thought the defense looked great. Like I said, 3 points. They scored 3 points against the reserves in the second half. I can live with that. These other teams that blew these teams out by 60, 70 points, they were playing their guys in the third quarter. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. We had all our guys out by halftime. So, I mean, yeah, it looked good on the scoreboard, but yeah, I'm pumped up for next week. I'm ready for them to play better competition, but to be against UT Chattanooga, that is exactly what we want to see. They did it looked how it was supposed to look, regardless of what the competition was. They were crisp, they were clean. Few mistakes. Game 1 is going to happen. There's going to be little things you got to clean up, but other than that, I was thrilled with what I saw. It was exactly what I wanted to see. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah. So the Chattanooga, for those of you that don't know, they're a top-level FCS team. They're not just some Arkansas Pine Bluff team. I mean, no offense to Arkansas, but they have high-level expectations. You saw what
made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, you saw what Western Carolina did to NC State. They're a high-level FCS team, so it's not like we were just going in there playing, just anybody. They have high-level expectations for what their program is, and for us to go in there and just run through them and do what we're supposed to do, what we plan to do. It's very, good for the future of the program, being able to do it then and doing it correctly. Always. That just made me lose my train of thought.
Papaw J went off screen, but he didn't mute, and I think he was getting up.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. That threw me off. Yeah,
you were going to say the offensive line's got to get their butts down. No, I'm just.
Let's get this guy out of here.
I was going to say, that's a killer shirt right there, man.
Yeah.
How come all you guys come in repping the brand and I come in saying, go to VolQuest.com for the best $150 a year you could possibly spend?
Fumbling the bag.
I can't lie, Boogie. I had to change real quick before I popped on because I had on a work shirt. So I made sure to wear this for the call. I didn't think Tom was going to rep it, but me and him pretty much been on par with repping the same shirt almost every time I've been on. So
I got to order that orange one. I got to order it, man. It looks too good. I got the black one. I'm like, now I need an orange one. What'd you think, Bleed Orange? What were your takeaways from week 1?
I thought it was awesome, and to kind of piggyback off of Rocky Top Tom a little bit, it's nice to see the way the offense is running the way it's supposed to run and it's designed to run. But I think it was even faster than when Hendon was running it. Nothing against Hendo, but it was quick. It was real quick. I'm not going to lie. I was a little disappointed at the beginning of the second half because of the way the drive went. But, I'm glad it happened against UTC, and there were some learning points, and he even spoke to that in the press conference. And to know that as young as he is and as mature as he is, and he's already in his mind trying to fix issues already and know that they're there, that's awesome. I mean, I was a little upset during the game about the defense. I'm not going to lie, but we're so used to seeing all these sacks and this and that. But then I had to stop and slow my roll a little bit and think, okay, we're not going to show everything we want to show on defense right now against Chattanooga and also get anybody hurt. So as far as the defense is concerned, they did great. But I was just like, man, I was waiting on the sack here, there, So, but other than that, it was awesome, man. Awesome and great.
Coach Jay, talk about the defensive line. And you talked about a little bit about it last night, but on your rewatch, you kind of told me some other stuff that you saw. Talk about that.
Yeah, they were just playing, just base gap integrity football. Yeah. They weren't pinning their ears back. And even if they were, guys, even if, I don't care who we have back there, even if they were blitzing the house all game, you're not going to sack Chattanooga a bunch of times because Chattanooga's offense is predicated on flats and bubble screens and underneath passing. So, it's just what they do. It's designed that way. And I think Tennessee knew that going into it and said, well, we got NC State next week. A, why show our hand? And then B, let's just play gap assignment football. So I don't know, when you're just sitting back, and I talk about it a lot on this calendar and breakdowns, maintaining a gap violently. It's easy to say it. It's really hard to do it, to sit there and play catch in a football game as a linebacker or as a D lineman, to have to deal with an offensive player coming full speed at you and just maintaining where you're standing is incredibly hard. And I thought we did a good job of it. Now, yeah, do I want to see a defense aggressive? Sure. I just think Saturday wasn't the time nor the place for it.
Well, and I think one thing that they did, talking about maintaining gap assignments, you could probably count on less than one hand how many stunts we did. I mean, they didn't, they didn't loop. There wasn't very many slants. A lot of it was straight up maintain your gap and play your position. There was a play. I know a lot of people were talking about where's James Pierce. Well, James, they rotated. They got there. All the guys, they should have got all the guys reps in. But the times where he was in, he dominated his guy. And it's either
his guys. He was double teamed all day long.
Yeah, and so they ran away from him, or they slanted their protection to him, or they booted away from him. So it's a lot, but I can count on one play where he just maintained a straight pass rush, maintained his assignment, and he just straight up obliterated their right tackle. As Keenan Peely almost got an interception off of it as a boot away from it, and James Pierce dominated the right tackle and pushed him right into the quarterback, and quarterback had to get rid of the ball, and Keenan Peely almost intercepted it. But
I love this right here from Jason. And I've got the PFF grades pulled up. Yeah. James Pierce played 10 snaps. 10 snaps the entire game. And people are mad that he didn't like
what's up with that?
Yeah. Exactly. Sports Banter. It's like, wait, he didn't have 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss? What the heck? He sucks. He played 10 snaps, boys. 10 snaps. Let that sink in. Our potential first overall draft pick, defensive lineman, played 10 snaps, and we're complaining about our defensive line that gave up 10 yards per carry. Again, I'm not trying to pick on D. I love you, D. You comment on every video. You're here for every show. I love you. I just disagree with you, and we can do that. See, he does. It makes me like, guys, sometimes you got to sit back and grasp what's really going on here. Jackie, what were your thoughts?
It was
on the win over Chattanooga?
And I thought it was awesome And I didn't realize that Pierce didn't make just 10 snaps, but I knew he wasn't in the game much because I mean he made very few appearances from my perspective and what I saw. But I thought everything was great. The only thing that I really wanted to happen that didn't happen was Brew to get a touchdown.
He was
but
close.
Other than that, I think we balled it out.
I wanted to see him on a punt return. I did want to see him get a punt return.
Yeah,
I think Squirrel. I think Squirrel could be good back there, man.
Oh yeah,
I
he
thought
looks
Squirrel
good.
would be better than.
I think
than
it was
Jake.
our second punt return. Squirrel looked great. Made two
Right.
guys right at the beginning of it, and just it was that close. And Cam Seldon on the opening kickoff return was that close.
Yeah,
to taking it. Yeah.
But I want to kind of try to challenge everybody. Don't watch a football game and look at it like it's fan service. Right? We're not making Star Wars number 10. They don't need to bring back Chewbacca and Han Solo, or I'm pissed off. You know what I'm saying? We got to
It's
win
called The Force
football
Awakens,
games and
Coach Jay.
plan
It's called
for
The Force
future.
Awakens.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, it's. I understand there's these little things that make us feel good and make our heart warm, but we need to play a brand of winning football all the time, not what you think we should do.
Chess, not checkers.
Yes. Thank you.
And again,
staff.
there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. There's
No,
nothing
no,
wrong.
no, no, no. I love it.
We're doing it civilly, and that's
Dude, I
that's
love
what
it.
this channel is all about. But Coach Jay,
I got to remind myself of it.
I will say I'm
guilty.
guilty. I'm guilty of being a sunshine pumper. I know that. I get it. I understand it. But it is what it is. Let's see. Don't give a shit for 2. Coach Ross, have you learned how to kick yet? How would he know? How would he know he doesn't kick? He doesn't kick.
When you ain't got to, why learn?
4th and 27 from his own 12. He's like, I'll just go for it. I mean, it's reasonable.
Rocky Top!
Change Coach Rice's name to the Cheeser. Good old Nate Pruitt for 20 says, cover charge, boogie. Howdy, Vols fans. I can't come on tonight. I'm at dinner with the fam. God bless and go Vols. Sounded like good old Nate Pruitt was. Did he say he was in Pigeon Forge at a cabin? I think I saw that. Enjoy it, Nate Pruitt. And then Ron the Don said some offensive stuff about women. Ron the Don, it's too early for that. Let's calm down a little bit. Robert McGee for 20. That's another Orange boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Coach McGee says, circling back to the offense, Coach Rice is absolutely correct. It's going to drive defensive coaches crazy, especially if you're doing a post to fade with the ace receiver. Man coverage is going to be rough zone all day. Thoughts on that, Coach Rice?
When you give the different types of formations with what Coach Heupel's going to open up in this offense, defensive coordinators are going to have to play 3 deep zone or 4 deep zone or cover 2 man over the top, because it's just there's no single man high. There's no cover 0. This offense, these wide receivers, these skill positions, and Nico, as we're going to talk about in the videos ahead, he's just way too talented. He's going to expose anybody that tries to play man press.
Yep. It's going to open up those running lanes too.
Yeah,
it's complimentary football, right? Sports Banner. It's like,
exactly.
I mean, I know we just talked about this last night, but it's like I'm going nuts on Twitter. I'm texting Coach Jay saying middle of the field, middle of the field, middle of the field, and then he texts back. They're about to hit the outside. What do? I mean, it wasn't 2 plays later, Coach Jay. They attacked the outside, and that throw on the rewatch today, I knew it was good then. Watching it again, it's like, man. Like for Nico, like there was very little space between where the wide receiver was in the sideline, but he still led him to the outside away from the safety that's trying to make up all this ground and get over there. It's just the I said it last night, that just the freaking accuracy, man, the ball placement, the way he leads his receivers open. Coach Jay, one of the plays you were talking about, let me actually pull it up on Twitter. One of the plays you were talking about, it was a play action. The linebackers didn't really bite on it, and Nico just. Again, let's talk about the ball placement. Let's see. Here it is. Let me share it on the screen.
Oh, I know which one this is going to be.
And break this down. Well, I'm gonna make a video on this, hopefully tomorrow. But talk about this play right here, Coach Jay.
Well, number one, I know we kind of picked up into it, but this was a true nickel look with a real light box. Right? They only had 6 people in the box. This is the play you never, ever would have seen a pass out of. Last year, this would have been a run 100% of the time when Joe Milton was the quarterback, but not here. So Nico right now, you can see what's happened is both middle linebackers, the refs kind of splitting them, have kind of dropped back. All of them, really, the whole defense has dropped back, but they've dropped back. They've settled pretty deep in their zone, about 9 yards deep at this time. You see right now we have a White Brazel breaking over the middle here on this slant. Nico's going to get the ball out right now, and if you look at it, he's got two choices. He can either try to lace this ball in between the linebacker and the DB, or he can try the more difficult choice and throw it directly over the linebacker's head. He chooses the latter, and I mean, throws it about as perfectly as you can right over the defender's hand here. I love how early the ball comes out in anticipation. Timmy McGee had to be happy on that one with that timing on that play. But it was a beautiful play.
Yeah, and
perfect touch.
Perfect touch. You're right, Bob. And the thing with that play is that on that double wide side, they're running a switch concept where the slot receiver actually ran, which is very famous. We've all seen it a gazillion times in Coach Heupel's offense. They run it a lot. It's a thing called switch concept where the slot receiver gets to the outside and the outside receiver comes to the inside post snap. Mm-hmm. And the outside receiver on this play runs a pretty much it's a slant / dig. It's more like a dagger route where it gets up the seam and then digs it in, and then obviously you had Squirrel or whoever the slot was run a wheel route behind it. And so what that does, it creates communication problems with the DBs that were there. And you saw the linebackers that were dropping back. Well, when you have a QB as talented and with the arm talent and the touch that Nico has, he saw all that open space. I don't know if you can pull it back up again, Boogie, but all that open space that's in the middle of the field between the two safeties and linebacker, it's like Boogie said just a little bit ago, throwing the ball to open space. And that's what you want from a quarterback with a wide receiver, because what that creates is big plays.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for the coaches.
Ron lives.
Ron.
Yes,
my question for the coaches are, it seemed to me, I saw the nickel package and other pass protection a whole lot more than I've generally seen out of most teams that play us. A lot of the teams will keep that box stacked and put pressure on their quarterback. Looks like they were more playing prevent on the receivers.
Can I answer
Am I
this?
wrong in what I was saying?
Can I answer this, Bob?
Yeah, go ahead, Boogie.
Can I answer this? They had no fear of Joe Milton, so they stacked the box.
Thank you.
And if you roll, if you roll around,
I mean, even in 2022 against Hendon, they still were going 4 and 5 deep in the box, putting pressure on it.
That was out of stubbornness, though. That was out of stubbornness.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, because
Nico,
if y'all remember, and I'm going to flex here just a little bit. I said Nico would be out by halftime.
Do that again, Bob. Show him, Bob. Show him. Oh,
yeah.
That's it. Navy built, Navy proud.
I said that Nico would be out by halftime. I said everybody would play.
You said Billy Napier is going to be fired before the Tennessee game, and I think you may be right about that one too.
Might be.
I was wrong about that. I just got to raise my hand real quick. I was wrong about Florida, everybody. I've been talking them up for months now, saying they're
Who else?
I said they were going to come into Knoxville 5-0, and I was totally wrong about them. I
love seeing that stadium empty out before game time was over. That thrilled me to death. See those Gator fans.
Okay, and I'm going to make Coach Jay real happy. Because yesterday, before the game was over, I dropped two bills on Nico for the Heisman.
Oh, what are the odds? What's the payout on that, Bob?
Not a bad bet.
$650.
Me and Bob gonna have a nice steak dinner when this thing's over, man. I laid a couple bills on it too, my friend.
You better bring Mrs. Coach Jay on for
that. Because his odds are fixing it. His odds are getting ready to go up.
Yeah.
After yesterday.
You guys think he can? I know it was Chattanooga, and I know it was inferior competition, but it's like we said at the top of the show. Those were routes on air numbers. Do you guys think he's got a legitimate? I think he's going to be better than Hendon was in 2022, and Hendon should have been in New York. Hendon should have been in New York.
High completion, high
Boogie,
completion percentages, lots of touchdowns. I can see. I'm telling you, it's you go back to where the offenses with early Lincoln Murray at Oklahoma, where you had quarterbacks rolling in with high completion percentages and lots of touchdowns. That's what you're going to see this year. These because it's the same base offense. Coach Heupel's going to put Nico in the best position situations with his wide receivers and running backs. And I'm talking, you're going to see this more times than not, where you're going to see 30 for 35, 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, you're going to see those stat lines over and over again because of the space that this offense is going to create in the mismatches all over the field.
Ron the Don.
Exactly. And
Ron the Don. Better or worse numbers for Nico this year than Hendon Hooker in 2022?
I do believe we're going to get some better numbers. Let me tell you something right now. But let's stop this right now.
Uh-oh, Ron the Don's going to preach. Everybody tune in. Here we go.
I'm in Clarksville. Austin P plays UT Chat. UT Chat ain't no joke. They ain't no scrubs. They are a serious football team. They was contending for the title last year.
Yeah.
So when you see Tennessee go out there and do what they did, that was accurate passing. They still got a little bit of penetration, but Nico was so fluid and so fine with his passes. He made those shots. And I'm telling you, I know this is a PG Ruler player, but when Nico did that stuff, and that man caught that ball in stride over the middle, up the sidelines, you can't tell me that don't make you feel some kind of way. And not only that, I'm going the opposite side of the ball. When Tyreek West hit a man from the back, ball for a fumble, tell me that's not determination. Leacock chasing the man down the field to keep him from scoring. That is some serious defensive and offensive determination. Fellas, I'm telling you, it's happening. It's coming. Be ready. What? Get your TiVo on if you've got TiVo. Or put it on. We are coming this year. We are playing complimentary football. I know they say James Pierce didn't do too much. He didn't have to do too much. Not at this game. And if we discuss some facts, after the second quarter, throw everything out throw it out of the wall, because that's when Coach Hype started playing on who can I put in, what was the rotation, what kind of matchups can we put out here on the field. When Nico did this thing at the second quarter, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. And they had one little hesitation on the drive. Man, we are fierce, and we will be a force to deal with. I'm telling you, it is good to watch it. Just like the days of Hendo Cinco. When he got the ball and it was 3rd and 8, you had no fear. Hendo was going to get it. Now we got Nico. Nico's going to get those yards. One way or another. He dropped the ball. A player kicked it back.
That went 5 yards.
He still got yards. Come on now.
Nico's
that shuffle pass coming to the right side, that was just pure beauty. When he was, what was that, second quarter down there near the goal line?
Yeah.
I was upset with that shuffle pass play, but
those shuffle passes. That play down the sideline when he caught it in full stride. We couldn't get that last year. That was non-existent.
And the 2-3 times it happened, they dropped them.
Yeah.
Well, 3 out of 4 actually. One was beautiful. Oh my God, that's
they've got continuity now. They can trust that the ball is going to arrive where it should be on time. Right? It's just a huge difference for your mind when you're a wide receiver. When you're doing anything, to have continuity is important.
Well, that's like in the throw that was missed to Brazel. You know, Nico knew right after he threw it that he overthrew it.
Sure.
They tried to say on TV that it was the receiver. He did slow down a little bit, but I mean that's one, and it's going to happen. It's the first game. You know, I mean,
it's not like, and I'll throw the dart here myself, like Boogie does. It's not like Joe Milton going across the middle, and it's such a dart that they can't hold on to it. It just slides right through their hands.
Yeah,
he's got that touch, and that's what we needed. Because that pass that you were just showing, when he went across the middle and threaded the needle, he did it with touch. If that would have been Milton, our boy wouldn't have never been able to hold on to it. It just slipped through his hand and landed in the end zone somewhere.
They never went across the middle last year.
They did early.
And that's why.
Yeah, but they did early a couple times, but teams would play that robber one against them, and they came up with 2 picks early, and we stopped doing it. And funny enough, Chattanooga tried it the other day, and it was one of the plays where I was kind of talking about Nico looking a little jittery still, and not still as calm as he did in high school, because he saw it happen and he kind of jittered, and then realized Sampson was open underneath for an easy, not an easy, but like an 8-yard gain. Yeah, or Bishop. Yeah, it was Bishop. And so he hits him, but I actually think Nico will start to recognize those traps quicker and hit Bishop earlier and pick up more yards easier. So I do think a better version's coming.
Can we just say I was the one that called? I said, y'all don't sleep on Sean Bishop.
Shut up, Coach Rice. Shut up, Coach Rice. Shut up, Coach Rice. I feel like Coach Rice and Dauber come on this channel every day. They're like, "Oh, you guys remember what I said? You guys remember what I said? Take your bow, Coach Rice. Take your bow."
Yeah, remember what you said. Remember what you said about.
No, I don't.
You remember what you said about Thornton? Thornton had a nice game yesterday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
don't have to do it, Coach Rice. Bob's going to do it for me.
You know why, Bob? Because he finally realized that he needed to put in the work. He pulled a Jalen Hyatt and decided that, I need to put in that work.
Yeah.
But they also brought him outside instead of keeping him in the slot. He was not comfortable in the slot.
You know what's amazing, too? You talk about snap counts and what Dante Thornton did. He played – I'm trying to go up and find the exact snap count. He played very few snaps. Hold on, let me find it.
It's like 16 or 18 or something like that. That's all he played.
And
I'm
also,
not prepared. Where is it?
Them in the slot. You can find
17
space wherever. You can find
I knew it was somewhere around 16, 18, something like that.
17 snaps. And how many times was Thornton and Brazil on the field at the same time?
Yeah.
A lot. A lot.
Yeah. And hey, get ready to start seeing Brazil running wide open down the sideline and catching deep passes. It almost happened yesterday. I bet it happens a lot this season. I can see that happening.
I can't wait to see Brew and Squirrel and Brazil and Thornton on there at the same time. It's going to be a lot.
And I was impressed with our tight end play.
Yeah. One thing I'll say, though, they didn't show anything what they want to do with the slot yesterday. They didn't show nothing. Mm-hmm. It was all basic, simple reads that Nico, that obviously he could make with ease, and they used the space of the field. They didn't show any motion with the wide receivers yesterday. The only thing they motioned was tight ends. You're going to see Squirrel move a lot more in the NC State game.
That end around was
he will
gorgeous.
probably lead the team in receptions.
That end around was absolutely gorgeous.
Are they setting something up there?
Man, I love that end around.
Yeah, are they setting something up? Because it looked like Nico with a off tackle left type of play, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna fake that, and Nico's gonna keep it, and he's gonna be off to the races.
I see a wrinkle on that end around coming up. I guarantee you, they're gonna come out with an end around, and then they're gonna pitch it back to Nico, and Nico's gonna hit a bomb.
Yeah, I want to know if Wade. I want to know if Wade was able to save Chattanooga secondary's life, or did they pass away after?
Well, it sounded like somebody was dying in the background. I heard a code 377, and Wade's just like, "Hey, I'm out. I got to talk to the boys."
No, I just got home.
So how you feeling on this Sunday evening after a 69-3 win?
Feeling good. They played. I mean, I didn't get to watch all of it. I haven't got to watch it back yet. I was working yesterday too, but I did listen to the game while I was working. So, I mean, probably didn't pay attention at work as much as I should, but hey, I got to do what I got to do.
Hold on a second, Wade. If you don't pay attention, people could die. If I don't pay attention, I come on here and say something stupid and sound like Dauber. Nobody thinks anything about it. Lives are on the line, Wade.
I'm not paying attention.
There's a wait. Let me catch up. A couple of super chats here. Ball fan for life for 2 says Heupel can't recruit. LMFAO. Man, the people. Unfortunately, I blocked the dude that had the biggest narrative that Heupel wasn't going to be able to recruit. I can't remember his name. Everybody knows who he is. He's on Twitter. Huge Negaval. I blocked the guy because he kept. What is his name?
His name was Rocky Top Tom.
Look,
I was against Coach Heupel when he first got here. I was against him. I didn't think he was going to be able to recruit. I didn't think that he was going to be able to step up and bring what he had as energy and just the momentum of. He's just a good guy. You were hitting on it all the last few years. He's just a good guy, but it took about a year or two for me to buy in. But yeah, it was probably.
There's nothing wrong with that though. That's not being negative. That's you got to prove it to me because I've been burned by every coach that's come through here. Hold on, let me hit this super chat. Ryan for 10. He's going to make Coach Rice mad at me. He says, good to see Coach Rice on here. Not having him on the show yesterday is a crime. This man represents a third of ball fans being from West Tennessee. I'm a horrible person. No,
it's all for the show, man. Boogie's got it's all about getting everybody's point of view, and there's several great people that work that do on this show, and it's all about getting everybody a chance to have their voice. So I fully whenever Boogie wants me on, hey.
You don't think I love Coach Rice? I love me some Coach Rice, but it's like even my wife yelled at me. She's like, "How can you not let Coach Rice on the post game?" I'm like, come on. Everybody's yelling at me, and I'm like, Dustin, like Coach Rice wasn't even on the channel when Dustin was doing post game shows, but y'all just want me to be like, "Hey, Dustin Sellers, my initials are FR. Let me get my knife out and stick it in your back. Yeah, take that." It's like, come on, bro. I can't. I got to be loyal to people. Tom, I love Tom. I got to get Tom on here, man. We got so many people that contribute. That's why these parents calling shows are fun.
I want to ask Coach Jay a question. Can you just talk about what you talked about for like 2 years now since Nico signed on with Tennessee about his read recognition? Going through reads in about a split second and then hitting his third or his check down route. I mean, dude was on point yesterday. Read one, read two, hit it.
It's fast, and sometimes a lot of it happens pre-snap, which if you really – go back if y'all recorded the game and watch what Nico's doing pre-snap because it happens quickly as well. He goes through his progressions, which I love, but it allows him to do it at an incredibly fast rate to the point that sometimes it looks like he's staring down people, but he's got his he's already down to his third read, or sometimes he'll just move someone through eye and pop over. But no, Tom, he's fast, guys. He's so dang smart. We're lucky, man. We're in for a real treat. I truly believe that. I know some people expect more of a sloppy game. I think he'll. I mean, it's possible. Everyone has off games, but I anticipate him being sharp 9 times out of 10 anyway.
Yeah, let me say this. I got Landon. Hold on. I got Landon in the back wanting to jump on. The link is out for Talkin VAWLS Gold and higher. I'm trying to rotate, get more people on. If one person can say, Boogie, I'm exhausted and this is my way out, I appreciate you and I will bounce.
I'll bounce since I'm actually at work. So
see, Wade, nobody's dying. Nobody's dying when Bleed Orange is here.
Hey, I'm off work.
I would like to say real quick though before I bounce. I would like to say real quick before I bounce that I'm saying it right here, right now. Nico's going to be in New York. He's going to throw for 4,800, have 39 touchdowns, and rush for 800. So.
Man. I love it, man. Bleed Orange, you're the man. You're here every time we go live. You're a blast to have on these fan call-in shows. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Go Vols. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
Vol World.
A definite member of the Vol World Order. All right, we got Landon in the house. Landon, how we feeling tonight, brother?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
I was doing okay till Tom came in here being all negative. What'd you I love Tom. If you can't handle me busting your balls, this is the wrong platform.
I love it, man.
All I get is I get harassed. I get harassed all day, every day. I'm gonna harass y'all. Landon, what were your thoughts coming out of the win, man? 69-3, domination, right?
Yeah, dominant. Happy with everything I've seen. Deep ball. That was the biggest thing for me is the deep ball. One at my house when I watched it, and I was screaming on the inside the first time he threw it. It was spot on, as accurate, and Joe Milton, he could never do that. It was the biggest thing about him last year, and is the biggest headache.
Can you say that again, Landon? Just one more time for me.
Joe Milton could hit the deep ball.
I almost feel bad for Joe, man, because I've watched so much content the last 24 hours, like listening to VolQuest and trying to think of some of the, like, I've watched a couple of film breakdowns, and it's like, I've seen people say, man, can we stop talking about Joe? Like, the guy was a VFL. He was a great teammate. He was a great person. We wish him the best, but you can't talk about Nico, Rocky Top Tom, without bringing up Joe from last year, because that's where the comparison forever.
And you know what? To be positive, okay, it's against my narrative, but to be a little positive here, thank you. All right, but I figured out what Joe's purpose was. It was to get Nico to where he is right at this exact moment in time, to get exactly where we are right now. And it couldn't have happened any other way. I've settled with it. I've gotten to terms with it. And whenever Nico talks about how he's gotten here, reporters ask him the same question over and over. He talks about Joe Milton being a great mentor, and Coach Heupel being a great mentor. And I throw a lot of darts at Joe, but dude he's a VFL for sure. He could have left his butt off. He got Nico to where he is right now. So that was Joe's purpose, and I've been struggling to find it for 2 years, but I finally found it.
Well, I'm going to say it. Bless Joe's heart. He's going to the NFL. Whoop the freaking do. But right now, we got a player on the field who can hit him across the middle, who can hit him down the sideline. He made me feel like Ricky Bobby when he first got in that car, and he's going to go fast. And the first, my boyfriend, I'm about to go fast. Yeah, Nico's about to go fast. I'm about to hit you right now. I'm telling you right now, we've got the man. Joe, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Yes. But right now, we are on it. Nico is the man. He will hit those. Oh, my God, this was so great. Can you feel that? When he threw those passes up there, he wasn't hesitating. He wasn't scrambling. He threw a direct pass dart and hit the player in the hands properly. And he did what he's supposed to do. Man, like I said, Joe was a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
It's a rhythm offense. It's a rhythm offense. Not throwing behind people is a big deal. Throwing it in stride is a big deal. It hurts the rhythm of if you're throwing it behind them. I mean, it just does.
And during the last season, everybody heard me. I pointed out it was not all Joe. It wasn't, because there were receivers just dropping balls that they should have caught. I just think there was a mismatch between the two skill sets: the skill set of the receiver and the skill set of our quarterback. I think Nico picked up on that, and he learned from Joe's mistakes. You don't just learn from somebody's successes. You learn from the mistakes, too, if you are a good, observant,
even more so
learner.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want to learn.
Well, I played a game in grade school called Foursquare. You got 4 people in a square. And the key to the game is to knock the ball in the person's square who wasn't expecting it. That's what Joe. He's knocking into the square. You wasn't expecting it. Nico's throwing the ball. He's not panicking. He's stepping back. He's watching. He has time. He throws the ball. The person has the time to adjust, speed up, square, and catch the ball. He's not coming at you 8,000 miles per hour because you didn't make the read, first of all, throughout the first 2 seconds. Nico was hitting him on time. This is a plethora of goodness that we have, offensive and defensive. There's a word we got to call rotation. They can rotate players in and out who will not lose a step. Fellas, I'm telling you, this is great. This is fantastic. You know what, Tom?
You know what's so funny? This is what I love about the chat. Is like we're talking about Joe in the past, and Crypto Ball's like blah blah blah. It's 2024. Can we talk about NC State? And then Ron mentions Foursquare, and he's like, yes, Foursquare. Let's stay the king. It's like, what do you want to talk about, NC State or Foursquare? Hold on, Coach Rice. Do you know what Foursquare is?
Yes, I know what Foursquare is.
I'm just trying to make sure.
I still played that in elementary school, even though it was in the, late 90s and not in the 70s.
Foursquare is fun.
The dark ages.
As far as NC State goes, I mean, with Nico, I'd like to see a bigger sample size. I'm not really sold on him yet. He's still a young quarterback. I'm a little worried about going on the game.
He's a
so here's the thing, though, with NC State. We're gonna get a whole different game plan from what NC State and Chattanooga. They're gonna be more play. They're gonna play because that's just their defense. They're gonna think they're more suitable to play with the Tennessee wide receivers, with the Tennessee athletes. They're going to try to play man press. That's what they play a lot of 2-man high, and they're going to give and one thing defense they do, they run a 3-man line, so they run a lot of 3-3-5. And so if y'all remember, Missouri gave us that last year. We struggled with it, but here's the key: we got a quarterback that opens up the offense, and it doesn't leave us with only certain, answers for how we're going to manage that 3-3-5 defense. So we're going to see a lot more things than what we saw against Missouri last year. And I hate to keep going back to Joe, but it's just the case it is. NC State's not going to be able to keep up with our talent at wide receiver. They're going to have to lighten the box, and Dylan Sampson, Cam Seldon, and Deshaun Bishop is going to expose that defensive line because
their defense is slow.
I want y'all to educate me real quick. Coach Jay, Coach Rice, 3-3-5. Like, if I want to run the football, what are the challenges? Because you see,
you want to run on the edge.
Not a single one.
Outside tackle. Outside tackle. You want to get outflank them. Use your tight ends to outflank.
Because your second level is going to fill gaps. Is that why? Is that your philosophy?
Yeah.
Hell, go even more simple than that. Run a trap play every single time until they get rid of the nose tackle. Run a trap play until they get rid of the nose and they go down to 4-man line, or like Coach Rice said, you want to get outside of them. But I mean, that it's easy as pie. You're going to get 4 yards of carry every time, and it might not be flashy, but you're going to work the field.
I know you like the play too, but you from NCAA, but
my go-to. It's my go-to.
Yeah, four verts is a cover 3 beater as well. So if you ever see that 3-3-5 when you're playing against someone in that game, go right to that 4 verts, and you should have some success. But you kind of want to attack it in those manners.
Yeah, and the way, the reason why teams do that is to get more speed on the field to go up against these SEC type offensive lines where they know they're not going to be able to match up with them pound for pound in the trenches. So they get more speed on the field to take away some of those advantages. Well, like we said earlier, the outside tackles, outside zones, the QB powers, running back toss sweeps, jet sweeps, orbit screens, getting the ball to the wide receivers out in space. That's how you defeat those 3-3-5s, because the space is going to be open, available in between the numbers, in between the offensive and defensive lines. That's where the biggest space is available. So that's where they're going to have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and then when they adjust, you burn them down the field.
Yeah. I expect to see a lot of trips.
Slow though.
Yep, a lot of trips.
Super slow. That team, that Western Carolina team, was gashing them, run and pass.
Yeah,
they were gashing them.
Yeah, and I expect to see a better effort out of NC State. I just think we will. I get it, Wade. I still like Tennessee to smoke them. I get it. But I do think we'll see.
Oh, wait. What did you say?
I think we'll see a better game out of NC State than they played against Western Carolina.
About smoking.
What'd you say after that?
I think we'll smoke them.
Yeah, they can play better.
I need my historians to check the record. I need my historians to check the record.
I'm nervous about NC State too, man.
They're going to smoke them.
I'm not.
I got a question that's going to lead to solving your concerns, Rocky Top Tom. What was the score at halftime yesterday?
I don't really care.
No.
I'm not trying to be all negative Nancy here.
No, dang, he's attacking Tom. I had a good question for Coach Jay, and he's like, let's burn Tom to the ground first.
Well, I think it was.
What was the score at
45 to
45
45 nothing.
45-0.
Yeah. 45 nothing. So between the halftime and the end of the game, there wasn't a whole lot of difference in the scoring efficiency between the first string and then our second and third string.
Oh no!
24-3. Second half,
I'm just worried
24-3.
about NC State for two things. They had a piss poor game against Northern
Western Carolina,
half a
Western.
state tech college. Yeah,
Shady Pines
whatever.
Convalescent Home.
Yeah, they had as much trouble with them as we had against Georgia State a few years back. And I mean, their coach is going to be riding them. They're going to be riding themselves. We had a great game. Everything was perfect. It's just one of those moments where everything lines up to where it scares the hell out of me. You know, Nico, first game in Neyland, record-breaking offense. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Okay, somebody give me some positivity.
We're beating them for
here's the
a
thing.
record and a half.
Boogie gave us all Boogie gave us all the positives of his show. What was it? This morning, I think it was, when he brought up Peyton Manning, Hendo Cinco.
Oh, yeah.
And all of our other quarterbacks have played all these types of teams before, and they've never hit a record in the first half. Now, imagine if Nico had stayed in the whole game, he'd have had a record for the entire game as well.
He's throwing for 600 and some yards if he stays in the whole game. But going back to what Coach Jay said earlier, we're not here to pad stats and to do this and that and to satisfy fan service. Yeah, that's the perfect way to phrase it. We're not here for that. We're here to win, get out, and move to NC State, get better, get reps for guys like Caleb Beasley that we're saying got exposed, who's a true freshman. Those are great.
Yeah,
ahead,
how many wins is it going to take to win the whole thing? Is it 15, 16?
16. Well, it depends if you get the bye.
That's
15 if you get the bye, 16 if
So it could take up to 16. You have to play with depth. You have to rest players. You have to go in healthy. It's managing roster and maybe not playing for stats just in general. I didn't like Ole Miss out there, and not just because I kind of liked Furman yesterday and stuck my foot in my mouth, but also because I just didn't. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Why keep people in that long if not to play for stats?
But see, that's what I was bringing up. That's what I was bringing up. Because we didn't have that drop off when we brought in our second and thirds.
No, they look good.
What does that say for our depth? What does that say for our depth?
Looks
I
good.
said it on the post game show, Bob. I was like, it feels like our starters are still in on the defensive line because we're so dang deep on the defensive line. It feels like the starters are still
line
in
as well.
Yeah,
offensive line. Cooper didn't play half the game.
Yeah, like Coach Jay said, William Satterwhite looked great.
He did
Catch
great.
of the year just happened. Catch of the year just happened.
Did you see that in the USC game?
USC
We don't watch you.
just made the
Talking
catch
Trojans.
Man, that Trojan defense too right now looking good. Coach Jay money line bet looking all right.
Did I mention the word?
I'm about to make Coach Jay go to work. I'm about to start forcing his hand every Friday to make some type of gambling video, and it will lead to a gambling sponsorship. And whatever gambling website pays us, I'll just let him give Coach Jay the money. Like, I think it would be a great video on Fridays. Coach Jay's betting lines. Like, I think it would be fun. I'm gonna strong arm him. I'm gonna treat him like a kid coming in for a Kirby Smart visit. I'm gonna twist his arm and tell him, you don't have to do this, but if you want to be a part of this channel, you're gonna do it. Let me catch you.
5 for 2 yesterday.
That's pretty good. That's making money. That's making money.
Making money.
Vols fan for life for 2 says, please enjoy this. This team is special. You're right, Vol fan for life. I said it in 2022. I never said it once in 2023. But I'm saying it again in 2024. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Jody Wooten for 2 says, how about Florida getting pantsed yesterday? It's hilarious.
Awesome.
It's funny, and I hate it at the same time because I want Billy Napier to stay around forever. Bleed Orange for 5 says, NC State isn't much better than Chattanooga. Yes, it will be a different game. Balls by Fitty. GBO. Ginger for 10 says, Max Gilbert is going to have game-winning kicks this year. His ball sailed into the stands. Big leg. I like that he got some work. I said it on the post-game show. I like that he got some work. Yep. We got to see what he could do. He knocked 2 field goals home. Yeah, he was close, but we're not playing horseshoes and hand grenades, so it doesn't matter. He made his extra points. Let's talk about NC State, Coach Jay. You said Tennessee smokes them. I think too many people, and I again, just like me busting Tom's balls, you know what I'm doing. I'm busting your balls because it's fun. That's what we do on the channel. That's not the NC State team that we saw on Thursday night is not the NC State team that's going to play Tennessee on Saturday.
No.
They're going to come prepared. They're going to come ready. Tennessee, this morning when I made the video, they were 5.5-point favorites. That moved. Now they're 6.5-point favorites. So when you say they smoke them, I've said, and I'm going to continue to say, I think Tennessee wins by 2 scores, whether that's 10, 14. I think Tennessee wins. Maybe we're a little uncomfortable in the second half and they take care of business. So when you say they smoke them, like, what are your thoughts on that game?
I do think we'll see a better NC State. I think that quarterback was out of sync at times. I think he'll clean that up. That's a good quarterback. I think he'll be more on with his ball. I think you'll see a more aggressive Tennessee defense at the same time too. I'm going to kind of stick with what I said last week, though. I think, we might not come out the first drive and score like Chattanooga. You might take 2-3 drives, but once Nico lands that punch, he throws punches in bunches, and it happens really, really fast, and he puts teams away. So at some point between Series 1 and Series 4, Nico will catch fire, and once he does, he'll put 40 on the board and be a done deal.
Coach Jay, we're scoring on the first drive, man. I can go ahead and tell you, Coach Heupel has the most efficient first drive offensive coach probably in NCAA history.
Yeah.
You go back and look. It's just gonna happen. I have full confidence. And now the third drive, you gotta get into that rhythm of the game, see what's going on. But I think, and I've tried to change my tone since last week. I don't want to spoil my prediction for Wednesday, but there's a lot that's going to go into this game that we haven't seen this team do yet because we just didn't get the opportunity to see it. You're going to see a more aggressive defensive line. You're going to see more blitzing. Not that you have to. I just think Tim Bates, that's his personality. I just think you're going to see that more. And I think you're going to see more deep shots Saturday because they're going to play that 2-man press.
Yeah.
It's going to cause more, and they're probably going to attempt. I hate to say it. Well, actually, I love to say this. They're probably going to attempt to make Nico beat them, even though they saw what they just saw.
Good Lord, that's a mistake.
Yeah,
that is a mistake.
Well, I tell you,
I want everybody. I want everybody to chime in on NC State. I know Ron's chomping at the bit, but I want to ask Coach Rice a question because he talked about the first series. Scripted plays. You as an offensive coordinator, did you script plays for your first drive? Why? Why? To me, and I've never coached football. I need to go by feel. I got to go by feel. And I feel like when you're scripting plays, it's like, man, if you get off schedule, that first drive's out the window. So why is that your philosophy to script plays?
Because it gives the offense some, they know what they're going into. There's no questioning of what your plan is. Those first, normally it's 10 to 15 plays. You want to get a certain look from a defense. You know what the defense more than likely is going to give you. So if you get that look, that's why you force them into those scripted plays because that's what you want to get to. Plus, you want to put in those scripted plays what you think the defense is going to give you the rest of the game. You want to see what they're going to give you. You want to get in certain looks. You want to get in 2x2. You want to get in 3x1. You want to get in 21 personnel, maybe throw in a double tight end thing in there because you want to see in those 10 to 15 plays what you're going to get the rest of the game from the defense. Plus, there's no slowing down. As soon as you get through that play, you don't even have to worry about a call. Boom, you're lining up, you're going. So it's faster. You ain't got to worry about it.
I always thought it was interesting, and I've seen people say, like, when comparing it to golf, like when you go out and you warm up for a range session, I always start with my wedges. I always start with my 60-degree half swing, and then I go down to my 54, then pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron, 7-iron, and then it's like, then I'll hit my utility, then I'll hit my driver, and then I've heard people say the last 4 shots should be scripted, or 3 shots, like hit your driver, and then hit what you think you're going to hit on your approach, and then like that way you're kind of dialed. I just thought it was interesting to ask. Let me hit this.
That's why you see the pros.
Ron, Ron had a thought.
Hold on, let me hit the super chat.
Hit the super chat, then we'll go to Ron.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the super chat, then we're coming back to Ron because I know he's chomping at the bit. This is the funniest thing ever. Sean Cross for 20 says, I'm in after the young man tomorrow. Boobs in my face for Boogie. She's crazy, not a joke. So Sean Cross, allegedly, he's got his wife in his profile picture. Sean, be careful. Be careful.
In trouble.
Apparently, she does inappropriate things when he's playing me on Tuesday nights, and that's why he's 0-4.
Oh.
He is 0-4 because she boobs in my face for Boogie. I don't know what else to say. Boobs out for Boogie is apparently a thing, and it happens on Tuesday nights. And Sean Cross is 0-4 against me. That's allegedly. That's
for
what I've
Sean's
been told.
benefit. We need to get y'all on right now.
All I can say is, Mrs. Cross, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the Lord's work. You are doing the Lord's work. And you know what? We appreciate it so much. We'll play another one.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
I mean, if there's two of them, they deserve 2 Rocky Tops, is all I can say. All right, Ron the Don, get in here.
Tough X-Ball.
Jackie's going, what have I got myself into?
I'm loving
it. NC State thing. Check this out. I've been reading a lot of chats. I've been looking at a lot of podcasts. The first thing people said, where is James Pierce? He's on the field. Where's Omar Norman Lott? He's on the field. Where's West? He's on the field. When they ask those questions like, why come these guys didn't have a greater impact on the game yesterday? There was plotting and there was scheming. On NC State, these guys will be in the game full bore. I'm telling you, this Nico may have maybe 120 yards pass in the first half. You know why? The ball will be changed over on the 25, 28-yard line. The defense will turn the ball over, and all they do is give it to Sampson to run the ball in. It is going to be such a defensive onslaught against NC State. It is going to be incredible. Think about this now. Nobody was talking about how many sacks James Pierce had yesterday. None that I know of. Watch what happens when NC State gets on the field. That defense is unleashed. They will take the chains off that dog. He's going to bite him. I want to see it, man. I want to see heads torn off, kids screaming and yelling, and mama's crying for their babies. This is going to happen, man. I'm telling you. We didn't see it on UT Chat. We're going to see it this weekend, though. Because we got to make a statement for everybody else to see. They scared now. They're going to be boo-hooing after Saturday. I'm telling you. Watch what happens.
Well, here's the thing. Let me throw this in here. Everybody says, we didn't see them. It didn't affect us. They didn't have much of an impact. Yeah, they had an impact, or they wouldn't have been double teaming James Pierce. That's an impact in the game. When you have to use 2 defenders against, or 2 of your offense against 1 defender, that leaves another defender to come in and take out somebody else. That just helps the defense.
That goes deep on a few levels too, for real. Because if you're another coach, that's for their benefit. They're looking at that game and they're saying, okay, well, they can do with that. They can do that with their other side too, or they can disguise some coverages later on. Because, okay, well, we forgot about James Pierce. How'd you forget about James Pierce? Oh, well, guess what? We didn't get much game film on him in the last game. We forgot about him. That little bit, just for a second. This is a game of inches, but a game of seconds, too. You forget about one guy for 1 second. He changes the game just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. And you can also – I had a note about that, Bob. Thank you for bringing that up. Gives the other guys on the defense ability to get reps. That was one of my other 2 positive notes from yesterday. Everything else negative, but that one was
Lord,
one of the other
Tom.
positive notes. Now, my first 5 notes were negative.
If nothing screams coach than a bunch of negativity, I don't know what does.
But for real, that gave them a lot of reps, and we saw some good reps from everybody else after that. And you brought it up a few times. Didn't drop off at all from first to second team, Oh, well, are we watching the starters? Are we watching the second line? Doesn't matter. They're interchangeable.
Sportsman, what do you like? What are your thoughts after seeing what NC State did on Thursday night, seeing what Tennessee did yesterday afternoon? How you feeling about the NC State game?
I'm not reading too much into how bad they looked, NC State that is, but I mean at the same time, I think they have a really good defense. Their defense is supposed to be really good, and I believe they'll come in better prepared against the Vols. Having a down week typically will help you have a better week the next week. But at the same time, you got to look at the competition of what they played last week to what they're going into this week. It's a completely different ball game for them. I mean, even if they do come in and play better, I'm going to say it. I don't see them coming within 3 scores. I think we beat them by 3 scores. And if they have a bunch of turnovers, it can get a lot uglier than that. So, it just depends. But as far as NC State, I'm not worried about them. But at the same time, anything can happen. That's why they play the game. So,
what about you, Landon? What any does Thursday impact you in any way, shape, or form?
I think we're gonna beat them 45-10.
Oh, come on!
I'm
speaking my
confident.
language.
What I've seen yesterday,
wouldn't surprise me.
I was worried until he put up 300 yards in the first half of the ball game, and it was done from there. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a blowout.
So what about Oklahoma for you? Are you still worried about Oklahoma, or are you like Tennessee's going to blow out everybody until Alabama comes to town? That's going to be a dub too.
Oklahoma they looked okay. They didn't really impress me that much. I think it's going to be a little more close. It's going to be Nico's first road game, which I know he says he likes the road environment. I think he's still going to shake them up a little bit, but I think by the second half, whenever they come out, he's going to be firing on all cylinders really, really good.
How you feeling, Wade?
All right. I'm going to instill confidence in those who don't believe.
Yell at Rocky Top Tom. I would love nothing more.
The reason I believe that we are going to wreck NC State is we have seen it so much in the past that I watched Thursday night. Their offensive line was getting dominated by that defensive line. Grayson McCall was running for his life against that defensive line, and they are not half as good as ours. And then that was creating him to throw inaccurate passes, which he's still not on the same page with his new receivers after he transferred. He was a good quarterback at Coastal Carolina. I watched him a lot at Coastal. I watched him in person at Coastal Carolina. But I don't think he's in tune with them. And I think when you put him under pressure, he gets rattled. And you saw it the other night. He was throwing behind receivers, way off in front of receivers. If you watch that pick he threw, it was right to the DB. You could tell he was flustered. And that offensive line, even before at the end, when they finally broke away, their run game was not doing anything. They were in the backfield eating them alive. And that's why I'm confident that we are going to whoop NC State. I know we're going to get a better effort than they showed because we're a bigger team and they're going to play harder. But I just don't see it. And then defensively, which is their strong suit, I see Dave Doring a lot like I see Mark Stoops. If you look at what he did last year, bringing in the quarterback that he did, he's not going to let him throw. He did let Grayson throw quite a few times, which surprised me though not. But most of the time, he's a run-first guy. We're going to play action and all that stuff. And what has that done for Mark Stoops? And he's not one of those people. He's just like Mark Stoops. He will not get out of his own ways. And what happens to Mark Stoops every time he plays Tennessee? We drop 40 on him every time. And their defense looks slow to me.
I'm gonna throw it to Jackie here in just a second, but you brought up a good point that I want to go back to Coach Jay because it's something he said. I guess you said it maybe Friday morning on the Friday morning show, talking about the transfers. You said to me they look like a bunch of guys that transferred in and they've not meshed yet. Can they do that between week 1 and week 2? We know coach speak. Coach speak is you make the biggest leap between week 1 and week 2. So if you've got a bunch of transfers that are good ball players, can they mesh that much between 1 week of football?
Yeah, it's tough to really know because you weren't in camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did they get out? Did they have a good camp? Just get a little out of sync when they were up against a game plan that didn't maybe suit what they were doing well. That's what we don't know, right? I think you'll know pretty quick because they were pretty much turned into a one-option team with Conception, right? And so if that's what we get, we're just going to hose them. You can't just have one player against it.
Concepcion is he is a good player.
He's a dude, but they need Noah Rogers. They need everyone else.
Yeah, Noah Rogers can be a good football player too. Look, we wanted him. We wanted Noah Rogers at Tennessee.
I think Jeremiah McCoy is going to lock down Concepcion.
Well, the thing is,
he's going to get some yards.
Yeah, he's going to get some yards, but the thing is with Concepcion, they use him in all types of various formations. They move him all over the field. They line him up in the backfield. They jet sweep him. They orbit him around the backfield. There's tons of ways they use him. And so a lot of times, you know who lines up on that? Is Boo Carter.
Boo Carter. And he had a good game yesterday.
And I'm good
He's
with
got
that.
the speed to keep up with it.
I got to go to Jackie in just a second, but do you guys think Boo Carter locked up the star position yesterday? He
Maybe
looks
not
so
yet.
good to me.
He
He looks so
not
good
yet,
to me.
but he's a freshman.
He should.
If not, he's getting close.
Yeah.
I don't think he has yet, but he will. He will.
I still
soon.
think they'll rotate, but I think Boo Carter gets the bulk of the
Safety.
I'll tell you what.
Safety. Who looked better, Will Brooks or Jacoby Thomas?
Jacoby.
Yeah,
Jacoby.
if NC State is able to isolate Will Brooks onto Conception, we'll have a huge problem in that game. It's a big problem. He will burn him 10 out of 10.
I know
We'll have a huge problem with
I know
that.
the PFF grades are not everything. Will Brooks with horrible grade for yesterday. And people got mad at me for going after him, and I don't like going after players, but I just think Jacoby Thomas showed his athleticism. And is it Tim Banks being stubborn and saying, I've got to go with the veteran guys? Jacoby Thomas is more athletic.
If he becomes a liability, I believe it'll be a quick adjustment. They'll nip it in the bud real quick.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that secondary is so much better with Jacoby Thomas and Boo Carter. I think the athletic Lamont McCoy, Ricky Gibson are going to be just fine. I think they're both going to be just fine.
Maybe them two are not practice play, or they're not practice players. They're when the lights come on in the game. That's when it clicks for them.
I'm like, what is it about Jacoby Thomas? There has to be some type of liability. There has to be some type of problem. Is it?
I've heard that he was over aggressive and he got burned. He was getting burned by our receivers because he was over aggressive.
But what do you want? Over aggressive?
I'd rather have
a slow walk on. Me too.
With a front seven as good as they are, I'll take over aggressive every moment.
Man.
Because
every day.
Yeah, if your front seven's getting to him with Keenan Healy back healthy, he's actually going to play. I mean, keep your fingers crossed he doesn't go out again with the season ending. You know,
especially if they start.
And everybody defense being better than they were last year, front seven, over aggressive.
Especially if they had to double team Pierce, then you got to have help.
Yeah.
So he can be over aggressive.
Couple super chats real quick.
Pass the front seven. Get him out of there.
Bleed Orange for 2 says NC State's.
Thank you, ball for life, but come on.
Bleed Orange for 2 says NC State's quarterback threw for 1,900 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then he followed up and said that was last year's stats. We'll be fine. GBO. Jackie, how are you feeling about the NC State game after watching Thursday, watching yesterday? And tell us how you felt before the season started versus now. Any difference at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm a little more confident now after seeing what transpired yesterday with NC State and the way Tennessee showed up. Man, I'm feeling very confident about that game. Before the season started, I was a little bit leery. I was giving it maybe a 60-40. Now I'm going 75-25 Tennessee. I think I'm with Ron. I think Banks held that defense back just enough to shadow what they're going to do with NC State, and I think Nico's going to have a game that equals what he did yesterday. I think against them.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. I had lunch with my brother-in-law today, who is from Chicago, and he looked at me. He said, "What did you think about Nico?" I said, "What did you think about Nico?" He said, "Let me tell you." He said, "I've been watching football all my life." He said, "This guy is special." He said, "The ball comes out of his hands so much differently than it does most any quarterback I've ever seen other than pros." He said, he's on a level that y'all don't even realize what you've got right now. I thought, man, that's a huge compliment coming from a guy that's a diehard Notre Dame fan. You know.
Let me clear something from yesterday.
Good.
I sent a comment out calling Nico the Cuisart's Haderach. That is from the movie Doom. That is called he is the prophecy. He is the Messiah. He is the coming one. That's what Cuisart's Haderach means.
I got the reference.
I got the reference. He's the Messiah.
That's
Nico.
what that was from. Yeah.
See, you need to speak Star. You need to speak Star Wars to me. You need to say he's Anakin Skywalker. He was brought here to bring balance to the Force, and you don't understand it.
That means he's going to transfer to Georgia. No, he can't be Anakin Skywalker.
What? Wait, hold on. What? Do y'all not understand Star Wars?
Just call him Luke.
Anakin Skywalker went from the good guys to the bad guys.
Yes, and then what happened? Oh my gosh, you're so young. What happened? In Return of the Jedi, it was a redemption story. Balance to the Force was when Anakin was like, "No, I'm a hero." The redemption story. Rocky
So
Top
he's
Tom.
going to throw Kirby Smart into the pit.
Yes.
Whatever that stuff is with the lightning.
Oh my gosh, we got to educate people on Star Wars. Anakin did bring balance to the Force. It just took some time. We had to go through the dark days. We had to watch all the Jedi get murdered under Butch Jones and Derek Dooley. And then he brings balance to the Force when Josh Apple comes in.
So I got.
Oh my God.
But let me just. This is my parting question for the entire.
Is it going to be positive? I hope it's going to be positive.
Yeah, for sure. Which Star Wars character is Butch Jones? I'm going to part with that. Okay.
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks.
All of us nerds on the same page. Jar Jar Binks.
Star Trek's way better, by the way. But anyway.
Oh God, bless America! I was never going to kick Tom off for being negative about the offensive line. I'm going to kick him off for saying that Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Yeah, that's out.
God bless America! You what a nerd! What a nerd! What a nerd!
Oh God!
All right, let me throw this out here, Boogie. I was over here. I was looking at the FanDuel odds we got on the game tomorrow, or on the NC State game. Tennessee by 1 to 13 points is at 180. Tennessee at 14 plus is at 150. NC State by 1 to 13 is 330. NC State 14 plus is 900. I just dropped two bills during this call. 14 Tennessee plus 14. 14 plus points.
It's gonna be close.
That's how sure I am. Tennessee's gonna win by at least 2 points.
I think Tennessee wins by 2 scores. 14. I don't know if I'm willing. What's the payout? What's the payout for paying 200?
150. 150.
Coach Shay, you got some betting advice?
I like Tennessee, so light them up either way.
See, the two bets you have is either they beat them by 1 to 13 points or 14 or more points. I know
like
they're
that.
going to beat them by at least 2. They're going to beat them by at least 14.
I like that one. That 1 to 13 is free money.
You have a night one day where everybody puts in a chat or super chat.
But here's
bet money down on a bet for a team to win or lose. And just put it to the show, man. That's what y'all to do. Good night.
Well, that's just it.
Right, Ron and Don. Drop your super chats right now. Rod and Don told you. Drop your super chats now.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you bet your free money bet, as you call it, and they beat them by 16 points or 18 points,
you don't win.
You just lost your money. You lost your money.
That's bad. That's bad. I don't like that, Bob. I don't like that game, Bob.
That's the way it's done. 1 to 13 points is one thing, and then 14 and more is another bet.
That's why Vegas has gigantic buildings, and they were built on losers like us. Wade, you got a question for Ron the Don. Throw it out there.
I was just wondering, when Sterl the Pearl retires, are you in line to take his spot or what?
Yeah, buddy.
No, he is the Talkin VAWLS hype man. He's the Talkin VAWLS hype man.
Hey,
if the University of Tennessee
I was just chatting and something. I blacked out. Now I woke up. Rocky Top was playing and Tennessee was playing. I just enjoyed the game. I don't know what happened to me that night. It was something else.
He woke up and he
helped me out. That's all I know.
He had coffee cream in his hand. He's like, "What the hell is this doing here?" He didn't know what was going on. Knoxville better catch for 5. Can I just say that Florida's defense looks slow? Miami players were getting first downs and walking out of bounds. It's early, but we gashed Florida 52-14.
I love that.
Our fan base is all over the place. It's our defensive line sucks. They didn't get enough sacks, or it's we're winning by 70 against Florida. I love you guys. I love this channel. I love busting each other's balls. It feels like a bunch of dudes just hanging out. I love when y'all give it right back to me when I come at you guys. It's so much fun. But we are going to wrap it up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Locked On Talkin VAWLS right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Kaner will be here at 9 a.m., so tune in for that. I'm going to watch Coach Heupel's press conference after Kaner leaves. I got a little spoiler alert that he was very negative, so I'm interested. I always save it. I save his post game for Monday mornings. I'm interested in that. Going to try to make a video on Nico and all the national attention he's getting. Hopefully either tomorrow, maybe Tuesday morning. We'll see. Tomorrow or Tuesday night, 6:30. Jaden Lofton is going to come on and beat the brakes off of me. Sean Cross is apparently going to have his wife flashing him, and he's going to play me after Jaden. So that'll be fun. We're not going to have that on stream, so use your imagination. Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS Live, we'll drop our predictions. Friday morning, me and Coach Jay will take you home with a cup of coffee as we get ready for NC State. I'll drop a morning video on Saturday, and then we'll do the tailgate show an hour before kickoff. Late night, Talkin VAWLS coming up on Saturday. I love you guys. I love this channel. Man, these Sunday night shows are so much fun. Like, I laugh and have a great time, and I love you guys. For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, for Sports Banter, for Bob, for Landon, for Wade, show him the tattoo. Show him what's going on here. Look at this man. Home sweet home. Talkin VAWLS State Pride logo on this man's arm. You don't get more diehard than that.
I drew that.
On the Dawn. And for Jackie, dude, I love Jackie. It's always fun, man. I love when you come on. I love
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Coach
it.
Rice talks
being
about
on here.
he talks about being an old soul, man. Like, I love when you come on the show. It's always a good time. My name's Boogie.
Appreciate
This
that.
is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call